Hello friends, today video going to be very interesting as we are going to discuss a few terminologies which will be new for many like value-based matrices, key performance indicator for agile values. So one of our group member recently interviewed by Virtusa and other than this one question, all other questions are in our Scrum Master playlist. So I thought of making quick video on same. So watch complete video till end and if you find any value, give thumbs up in the form of like. So the question is product increment is measurable or quantifiable. So all these responses are from our WhatsApp group member and you can see like some really good pointers over here and I will try to add these responses here in my answer too. So let's check out what they have written. So yeah, you can consider the SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound. Yeah, this is my thought too. PI should be smart. However, in two cases, I have seen that teams assigning numbers for business value of each PI items in range of 1 to 5. Yes. You have a goal of onboarding a new customers to our new website. So now will you measure your goal to achieve or not? Yeah, this is again, yes, this is again a good pointer. And as per Scrum Guide 20, an increment is a concrete stepping stone towards private goal. Yes, correct. And this is again one more interesting comment which we have received. Quantification is about mapping human observation into numbers, therefore taking any steps to improve the quality of deliverables and then observing the effect of a decision will be called quantification. So yes, very interesting thoughts, mixed interesting thoughts you can see over here. So just take this as a base. I will try to give the answer of this whether the product increment is measurable or quantifiable. So let's see. So I just try to search this word measurable in Oxford dictionary and then I found that measurable is something that can be measured and an example is measurable amount of pollution in the atmosphere. So we have something called air quality index, that is AQI. So the AQI is a way of showing changes in the amount of pollution in the air. So that's the kind of example with the measurable is quantifiable. Yeah. So quantifiable that can be described or expressed as an amount or a number. Quantifiable data. Okay. An example of quantifiable you can give like as a number of people in a room. So you can quantify it, you can give numbers, right? 5 people in a room or sometimes we have like school ranking that give quantifiable information regarding how well we have done in our exam in the form of report cards. So generally people use measurable as a synonym of quantifiable. So you can use measurable instead of quantifiable. This is what I can derive from these two definitions. But in few cases, what I have seen, there is a slightest difference. So people use measurable, something that is difficult to predict, but you can measure retrospectively. So I just give an example. It is difficult to predict the effect of Brexit on the UK economy right now, but maybe in 5 years down the line, we will able to measure it. And quantifiable is something that you can predict with good accuracy in advance. So you are a Scrum Master, so you definitely have seen these statements like we should write smart goals and we should invest in good user stories. So these two acronyms is going to help us in this video further. So let's move on. So friends, this is SMART is all about, but I'm not going to go into detail of each and every specific. But I just want to highlight on this measurable part because the focus of this video on the measurable only. So measurable is something that quantify or at least suggest an indicator of progress. So you can see like they are using word measurable and quantify in a same statement, right? So that's the important thing for us. So let's dig out further. So I will emphasize this only on this measurable part. So a SMART goal must have criteria for measuring progress. If there are no criteria, you will not able to determine your progress and whether you are on track or when you will going to reach your goals. So to make a goal measurable, we should ask ourselves like how many, how much, how do I know if I have reached my goal, or what is my indicator of progress. So for an example, if I'll just give you one general goal is like I want to clear the PSM3 certification or exam. But a more specific goal would be like I'm starting my PSM3 mentorship program from 1st of May online and will study 5 days a week to clear the exam. And I have scheduled the exam at 8th of June. So this is my specific goal. Now how I'm going to measure it? That okay, every week I will aim to finish one complete professional Scrum competencies. So in 5 weeks, I will finish all 5 competencies. So this is measurable. Okay, so what is product increment? So the product increment is the sum of all the product backlog items completed a sprint and the value of the increment of all previous sprints. So at the end of a sprint, the new increment must be done, which means it must be usable condition and meet the Scrum team's definition of done. So what Scrum Guide is telling the same thing, right? That an increment is a concrete stepping stone towards a product goal. The word is product goal, and we know that goals are smart, right? So remember this. And each increment is adaptive to prior increments and thoroughly verified, ensuring that all increment work together in order to provide value. The increment must be usable. Work cannot be considered part of an increment unless it is meets the definition of done. And the definition of done is a formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measure required for the project. Yeah, so this all we know. The important thing is let's emphasize this on value, like how we will quantify or measure our value and what is this definition of done. Okay, so if you're not aware about the definition of done consists of three main components, it's important to highlight over here because the business or the functional requirement that we write in the form of user story, and we all know that invest, right? So that V is for value, so that every user story should have value along with it. And the quality is, yeah, is a responsibility that's lie with the development team to ensure that the product is of maximum quality, and for which they use different standards, tools like various coding standards, TDD, unit test coverage, etc. There are a lot of things which you can emphasize on a quality part. And then we have something called NFRs. So these are nothing but the system attributes. So they ensure that the usability and the effectiveness of our entire system, like security, reliability, performance, maintainability, all those things will cover under NFR. So basically, NFR might not add any direct business value, but important for all our product development. This is a three important thing which we should remember in terms of DoD. And yeah, remember that invest the value part. Okay, so a more productive way to measure Agile is to focus on and measure the value Agile can brings you. So this is not to say that the Agile development matrices like velocity and quality should not be measured. These data points are useful but should not be our end goal. So how do we measure value? So there are different ways. For example, customer user satisfaction, determining the business value, the product scope, the process improvement. Let's see how we can dig out further in this. So an effective way to measure the value of Agile is to track key performance indicator that align to value. Then we have something called weight index, or you can call it as users index, or sometimes people call it as feature users index. So basically what features are people actually using? So by analyzing the users index of different product features, you are able to measure what valuable to your users. So this is a crucial KPI for business value. So by tracking the weight index of features in a production environment, you can prioritize the features that offer the greatest return on investment. Then we have something called innovation rate. Now this innovation rate measures the capacity of a team to build value-driven features versus non-discretionary work like detect fixes and application support. So the idea is the more a team is burdened with maintaining existing systems, the less bandwidth they have to innovate, grow. So by reducing an application support needs, you can increase a team's innovation rate and focusing on create new value-driven features. So I want to highlight four innovation key performance indicator because most of the people are not aware about it or not using it. So I just want to give you a reference over here in this video. So we have something called innovation rate, that is nothing but the revenue share of innovation divided by total turnover. So basically this key figure represent your innovation activity in relation to your sales. So, and it also shows whether your new development are successful on the market or not, because it measures the sales you already achieved with the innovations. So you cannot measure how many new development you successfully place on the market with this KPI, but then for that we have other KPIs. Then we have something called innovation rate, that is number of innovations divided by number of products. Now this size shows how important your business is to innovation, but you relate the number to your entire range. But it does not say anything about the success of your new development. However, together with the innovation rate, you already get a very good picture of your own innovation and success. However, both these matrices do not answer the question of what you mean by an innovation. So let's see the other two matrices. Now this degree of innovation is newness of the purpose minus medium combination. Okay, so let's see what is all about. So basically with this formula, you can now specify how new your development is. So the keyword over here is purpose and means. So for example, the purpose could be drive a car and the means could be to use the fuel. So if both purpose and means are different from what is already known, then that is totally a breakthrough innovation. But that not happen all the times. So sometimes it's just a product improvement. So for example, facelift of a car model or different car model which we see. So those are like a product improvements, different versions we see, right, in different car models. Then we have something called innovation portfolio. Now, this is not a measure in a narrower sense, but an exact analysis of your product range. So, how old are your product? How much does each individual contribute to the overall result? This analysis can already show exactly which and how many products you have to develop in order to defend or expand your market position. So these are the four key innovation matrices or KPIs that will definitely going to help. Friends, if you want to join our WhatsApp group, just go to the community tab and you can see different links are there. So you can choose whatever link which you want if you want to join our WhatsApp group. And friends, if you have not seen our playlist, please do so because there are a lot of different questions which I am getting and the answers are already there in the playlist. So I will suggest you to go through all the playlist videos and then come back with your queries. Thanks. And friends, I am sure you have learned something new today. So please hit like button and if you are new, please do subscribe for more similar videos. Thanks. Have a nice day.